you guys, it is me, Laura, at Balanced Vitality, and I am a homeschooling mom to 3 kids, ages 10, 7, and 3. And I'm here today to show you what we have been reading for homeschool this month. And sorry I look like this. We just got out on the river in our kayaks for the first time this season. It's funny because there's still snow on the ground, but it's a warm day. We didn't want to get in the water, but we had fun paddling on the water. But I just got back and we had a quick minute, so I thought I would go ahead and show you what we've been reading. So I thought I would start with our family read alouds. At the very end of last month or the beginning of this month, we finished The Great Turkey Walk. Everyone really enjoyed this book. There were a few parts I wasn't absolutely crazy about, but it was definitely a fun read aloud for everyone, and everyone was super involved in the story and wanted to know what was going to happen. So that was a lot of fun. And then we read Who Was Neil Armstrong? Typically, I like to have books that are a little bit more literally complex for read alouds, but this is just what went with our unit study. So we went ahead and did that, and the kids actually really enjoyed it. And then we just finished this one. It's Armstrong, The Adventurous Journey of a Mouse to the Moon. And this is kind of like a chapter book / picture book. So it's definitely not something that you would read in one setting unless your kids have a really good attention span. My boys might listen to it all in one, but my toddler definitely would not. But this is just a really fun story about a mouse who really wants to go to the moon and his misadventures to get there, and there's a really fun twist at the end, which is pretty exciting too. So everyone really liked this one as well. The boys have been listening on Audible to the entire Little House on the Prairie series. So we do have this in hard copy, but my kids love to listen to audiobooks, and there's just not enough hours in the day for me to read them everything. So they listen to this. My husband listened through with them. He really loves these books. I think they're on the very, very last one. The last 4 years, I think. I think they're on that one right now, but they're almost done with it, or they might have finished it today. I'm not sure, but they've been reading through all of these and just listening to them. They've enjoyed them. And then tomorrow, which is still in March, we are going to be starting What is NASA again for our science unit. So that's what we've been reading as a family. Trying to think. So there's a couple books that we had to return to the library that the kids really liked. One was Curiosity, the Story of the Mars Rover by Markus Motum. It's M-O-T-U-M, I believe. And it's just the story of the Curiosity rover told from the rover's point of view. The kids loved it. I thought it was super well written because it's filled with tons of information and facts, but a lot of times when books are that way, they feel very information heavy, but it read just like a story, and the facts just kind of fell into place, and it didn't feel like you were just getting fed a lot of information. It was really well done. And we also really enjoyed My Journey to the Stars by astronaut Scott Kelly, and that one is a children's picture book biography. It is hands down the best biography I've ever seen written for that age group, and the kids really enjoyed the mix of the real photos and the illustrations. And we also read Astronaut Handbook by Meghan. McCarthy. It was one that all my 3-year-old up to my 10-year-old enjoyed, and so it was really good for that too. Then moving on to my 10-year-old's books, he really likes the Bat books. There's 3 in the series. This is the second one. He had read the first one and said it was one of his favorite books ever. It's about a boy who has autism, and he's dealing with a split home. His family, his mom and his dad are divorced, so he spends some time with his dad and some with his mom. His mom is a vet, and he loves animals, and they happen to be taking care of a baby skunk that he gets to help out with, and the skunk is a really good friend of his. So this is the second book in the series. Samuel really enjoyed this one, and he also really likes the I Survive books. So he read, for those of you who aren't familiar with the I Survived series, they are all about real historical events. So Samuel didn't actually read these 2, I just grabbed them. He found out that our library that's right by us has all of the I Survived books. So he read the one about the California wildfires and the Japanese tsunami. And he also read a book from our other library called Can You Survive Storm Chasing? And it's kind of like the You Choose history books, but it's a little bit more like survival based. He didn't really like them. He used to love that format, but he's decided now that he doesn't, because he says he often picks wrong and he doesn't like having all the different parts, and he wants to read all the parts and it's confusing, and so I probably won't get him any more of those, but he did read that. He also read The Sign of the Beaver. Now this one, he was very reluctant to try, and I encouraged him. He has like a checklist of things to cross off, and this one covered so many of the areas that he still has left to fill in his chart, so I was trying to encourage him to read it, and he was very reluctant. But then he read it and he absolutely loves this book. He thought it was fantastic, and he says he wants more like it. So read that. And then he's almost done with Bat and the End of Everything. This is the last series, the last book in that trilogy. So he will finish that here probably tomorrow. Then I'm going to go to Timothy. So my 7-year-old, he isn't really doing reading independently yet, which is totally fine. So I read to him and he does a lot of stuff. So the books that he has been enjoying are Ethan Allen and the Green Mountain Boys. He is obsessed with Ethan Allen and the Green Mountain Boys, and this month he was super excited to find out that on my husband's side he is related to Ethan Allen, and he was over the moon for a few days after he found that out. So we've been reading this book that we got from the library, and he's also been really enjoying this book. It's Castles Magnified. I think they have more in this series, but it has a little magnifier in here. Take it out and show you. And then there are pages with information about the castle, and then you find all these things with the magnifying glass. And there's really just the information in here, and the way that it's written is really, really good. And he'll pore over this by himself for a very long time and look for all the stuff. And then he, of course, is super excited when I'll read to him the different parts. But this has been something that he has been loving. And you'll notice with him, typically, there are going to be fewer books. That's just his personality. He will read the same book over and over and over and over and over and over again. And he just really has fewer things that he'll be reading, but he will read those more times. That's just his personality. And then I have books that Lily, my 3-year-old, has been really enjoying this month. These are the books that she asks me to read to her multiple times. So of course there's the classic Curious George. She really likes this one and gets super excited every single time she sees it. She also loves this one, which I actually hadn't had out for a while. And when I pulled it out, she got so excited. I missed that book. I've been wanting that book. So anyway, it was very exciting to see her enjoy that again. And this is one I got a while back from Usborne, Billy B. Brown and the Outer Space Adventures. I pulled it out because of our space unit, and it's just about Billy B. Brown. She's in school, preschool, and this is her imaginative adventure. And I'm so sad that they don't have these anymore, because Lily enjoys this so much. I thought she would probably want some more of this series, but they don't sell them anymore, and I can't find them anywhere. So I'm glad that she at least has this one to enjoy. And this is one from my childhood that Lily really enjoyed too. It's My Name is Alice, and it goes through the whole alphabet, and it'll say the letter. Let's see, that one's not my favorite because it's my name is Ida. It should do the short vowel sound, but that's okay. So here's P. P, my name is Polly, and my husband's name is Paul. We come from Pittsburgh, and we sell pebbles. Polly is a puffin. Paul is a pig. And so it's just really fun, and there's lots to see in these pictures, which makes the story especially engaging. And this is one that we've got for Samuel when he was really little. We did the Dolly Parton library where he could have a book every month. This was one that came in there, and all the kids have really enjoyed it. It's about this little boy and his dad and all the adventures that they pretend from their living room, and it's been a favorite for all of them, and now she's really getting to enjoy it. And the last one that she really loves is Chrysanthemum. So we've been focusing on the letters of her name, so we've been reading some books with names in it, and she loves Chrysanthemum. Chrysanthemum has a long name, and she gets teased about her name, but in the end, everyone finds out that her name is really amazing and wonderful and perfect just for her. So it's a great book. So that's what Lily has been enjoying this month. And lastly, what have I been reading? So This month I have had a lot of books that I have started and abandoned. Lots of abandoned books and lots of picture books I've been reading, like for myself, for curriculum. And I'm constantly reading books and reviewing books and trying to find books for curriculum and all kinds of things. But I did read a book called, I finished Lion. It's actually A Long Way Home, but the newer version is Lion, A Long Way Home, because they made a movie that I think is called Lion. And I read the young readers edition, so I can't speak to the main one, but it was just a really good book about a little boy who got lost in India, and he was little enough and didn't have the vocabulary enough to be able to explain where he was from or who his family was, and the authorities weren't able to find them, so they were able to find him an adoptive family in Australia. And it's kind of about his journey trying to figure out what happened to his family and how to connect, and how he used Google Maps when it just came out to trace all the area that he was from to try and find his home. And it's a really interesting story, definitely for teens, I would say, or older. Very interesting, very good read. I definitely enjoyed it, and I wanted to keep reading it to see what was going to happen, so very good. I'm also listening on Audible right now to All 13, the incredible cave rescue of the Thai boys soccer team. I don't know if you guys remember the big 13 boys who were lost in the cave a couple years back, the soccer team, and how the rescue just took days, and the rain was just coming, and it was crazy. So I was really eager to read this story, actually. I have found it really interesting in the book because you learn a lot about their religion, and I find that very, very interesting. But for the most part, as far as the actual rescue and what's going on, it's pretty factual, which can be good, but it feels just a little bit dry to me. But I am going to finish it, and I'm enjoying learning about the culture, which is kind of cool. And currently I am reading this book, which I think there's 4 of these in the series, Rescue Dogs, Ember. And if this one's really good, we might use it as our read aloud when we do our emergency workers unit. I'm not sure yet, but I am a little ways into it, and I'm enjoying it so far. I think it's a pretty good book, so we'll see how that goes. And that is what we have been reading for this month. I would love to know what you guys have been reading in your homeschool. Have you or your kids read any books over the past month that have just been big winners for you? I would love to know in the comments below, and I hope that you guys have a great day. I'll talk to you later. Bye.